I'm gonna say let's start with distant relatives because that's the one that I think we both, what I'm saying, agree with the most. I think.
No, and listening to this album, I'm hard pressed to say that I never really gave this album all the way through. So this is probably
True,
my
true,
first real. I remember it. Let's. I don't want to talk about it.
true,
I'll
true,
save all
true,
that for the show.
true. Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars.
Your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and of course great beer.
I am Kamal Kiddo.
OT the Golden Child, man. Thank y'all for checking out our last episode, in which episode was featuring the good brothers Jay Westbrook and Sam Ross. So yeah, man, talking about what's going down at Bitter Pops this month, Black History Month. So yeah, man, and all the black breweries that are participating in their shindigs and whatnot on that end. So yeah, man.
I hope you all came out last Friday, or you should visit Bitter Pops this entire month. But that was a very positive time. Shout out to Rich, Funky Town Brewery, um, Jay Westbrook, of course, uh, Sam Ross. Uh, Very positive vibe. Shout out to Mike Gemma from Haymarket Brewery. Much love in the building. Much love. Much love. I'm trying to get my Lex Friedman podcast voiced on. You know what I'm saying?
You check for Lex.
I do check for Lex. Yes. Yes. And how are you all doing? Yes. Very soothing voice. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
fan of Lex Friedman, man. One of the most interesting cats. Very good conversationalist, willing to talk to a wide variety of individuals. I like that kind of stuff, long format podcasting. So shout out to Lex Friedman, man.
Absolutely. Yes.
Holler at us,
Yes.
Lex. Have us on, man. If you want to drink beer and talk about some
Right. Talk.
rap.
Right. Right. He be talking about some extra deep mental sections of life and the world type stuff.
Yeah,
So
bro's a whole MIT professor. So I mean, I don't know if he still is a professor, but that's his. He's into robotics and
how
AI.
about
So
he is still a professor? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
In life, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But word up, man.
Enough about Lex, though. Yeah, man.
Right. Today, we are discussing the classics. That's what we're gonna call it, because that's what we've been calling it, the classics of the year 2010. What year did we even start at? Do you remember what year we started at?
We started at 1994.
Wow. And so now we up to 2010.
We could have started earlier, but we could have started probably 92, 93. But I think we did do 90. I think we started at 94. So we are here at 2000. And what I think is that I think we said we will be 10 years behind where we are. So I think we probably stop at 2013. I think 10 years is good for a classic for like.
I agree. I agree. To for the test of time for sure. Um so yeah, we OT sent me a list of two lists of albums from the 2010s and from the year 2010, and I thought it was very it was a hard choice. Dare I say it was a bit of a lackluster year. Um but we
I have a hot
happen
take on that. We'll get to that. I'm very careful with what I got a hot
Yes,
take on that.
yes. We did pull out three that we said, you know what, let's there are some classics that we've talked about before,
At length.
at length, right? But these three, we said, you know what, they deserve a little bit of shine. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. There's been conversation about one or two of these. But before we even get into that, what are we drinking, my good sir?
I am for the first time. Maybe not for the first time. I could have had this at Black Horizon, but I think that this is definitely no, not. I think this is my first time having this on the show. This is Black Horizon's American Pale Ale. This is 100% Mosaic hopped Pale Ale, coming in at 5.5%. So Mosaic, very like earthy, kind of fruity. Mosaic is kind of hard to describe from the standpoint of hops because it kind of can give you many different characteristics from the standpoint of taste and all that kind of good stuff. So, but yeah, man, it looks to be just a nice classic American Pale Ale. From the body, you can see that it is kind of amberish in color.
Hmm.
Um,
I had that one with Sam and Jay last time. It's
at the
pretty
brewery,
good.
at Bitter Pops.
No, no, the show when we recorded.
Um, Fruity notes up front.
Hmm.
Um, Light citrus, nice bitter. Got a nice little bitter bite towards the back end.
Hmm.
Um, Pretty good though. I'm checking for it. It's a nice American Pale Ale, man. If you are into just a something that is going to give you that good punch up, well, not punch up front, but that good bite towards the end, but nice and fruity, kind of citrusy up front. I'm rocking with it, man.
I like it. I like it too, actually. That is a beer from the Bitter Pops Black History pack, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes. I'm also having another one from the Bitter Pops Black History pack. I'm having 18th Street Brewery's Best Patio Pills. I have
Stop.
never had this.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Have you had it? Now go.
I've never had it. I've never had it. Pilsner style lager. This is 5% ABV. Brewed and canned by 18th Street Brewery in Hammond, Indiana. We might have to holler at them, man. Take a trip.
I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
on you to drink that. I want to go ahead and pull that boy up and let me know what you think, man. Because I had this one out of my 6 pack this week, and I immediately text Jay Westbrook about it when I had it. So I want to,
What, this one?
yeah, man. Let me
Sure.
see what you think about it. 'Cause I'm not really big into pilsners.
Uh-oh. Too much head on that one. Pause.
No, you good.
Mm. First of all, I'm feeling the nose. The hmm. It smells refreshing.
Yeah, it's kind of banana-ish,
Yeah.
bready. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's rich. That's rich. That's mm.
It's super easy drinking, right?
It's very easy drinking. The first time I really noticed the Pilsner taste was at Argus, man. R.I.P.
Yeah.
They got a good Pilsner too, man.
Yeah.
Um, but this is solid. This is shout out 18th Street.
It's so when I drank it, I said, "Damn, man, I'm kind of sad that it's wintertime in Chicago because it kind of
Yeah.
it's a joint that you can have on a nice hot summer day. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
And shout out Sam because he did the base recipe for both of these, right?
No, Sam did the base recipes for what everybody did on the stroll. So everybody had
Ah,
their
got you,
specific what is it, variation or however you call it of the stroll. These
got you.
beers are just the beers that were contributed to the 6 pack from each brewery.
Got you. Got
Yeah.
you. Got you. That's
Yeah.
right. You're right. Because a lot of these already existed
Yeah.
before the pack even
Yeah.
came out. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. All right. So, um, the year is 2010. What were we doing in 2010?
2010, I was 3 years into my career as a financial aid advisor at a school I won't talk about. Online
True.
online college. I was a year from marriage. I was a
Yeah.
young man who had my first son in 2010. TJ.
Word. 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 Yeah. I was not married. I was still dating, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I was definitely like 2 years out from marriage at that point. Um, and I wasn't dating my wife. How about that? But
She
that's
watched the show.
And if she does, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, that's my boo. It's all love, you know what I'm saying? But but yeah, so 2010. Let's see. What's some of the albums that dropped in 20? Well, first of all, we talking about should we talk about what we're talking about?
Yes, let's do that.
We're talking about Distant Relatives, Nas and Damian Marley. Very slept on album in my opinion. Very slept on album. There's some songs that kind of start off. I could probably skip this, but then as the song gets further in it, oh, you know what? I'm kind of rocking with this song. I'm kind of
Yeah.
rocking with it. There's a couple of songs on there, um, like that for me. I think it's a sleeper album. We're also talking about Waka Flocka Flames
Pow, pow, pow,
debut album,
pow, pow.
Flockaveli,
Waka, waka, waka.
as well as an R&B joint, Love King from The Dream. One of my
Radio
favorites.
killer.
One of my favorites. Before we get into those, what's some honorable mentions?
So 2010. So first of all, full disclosure, obviously you like, damn, y'all not talking about Teflon Don or My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Yes, we are
Classics.
not.
Those are real classics.
So you want to watch those, that commentary, man, gotta go check out the 2010s top albums of 2010 show that we did. We talked about both of those albums on there. We have individually reviewed Teflon Don. We have talked about Teflon Don in the head-to-head segment with what's the joint that had
Deeper than rap.
Deep in Rap. We've talked
Yeah.
about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy when we ranked Kanye's top 5 albums. We've just talked about
Yeah.
these albums at length, and we just didn't want to, kind of do that again. But outside of that, Theater of the Mind, no, Battle of the Sexes, Ludacris.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I didn't really listen to that one much, but
The
yeah.
Roots, How We Got Over, dropped in 2010.
I just started listening to that today. So I'm early into re-listening to it. It's got some joints. It's got some
Yes.
joints for sure.
Yeah, man. My hot take, what I was talking about, what I was going to get into is that this year originally seemed like it was subpar, and I think
Yeah.
the reason why is because it wasn't a lot of big names that dropped outside of like a Rick Ross and a Kanye.
Big
But
Boy dropped
Big Boy, yeah, but
his
even Big Boy
his
is kind of
debut.
like exactly, you know what I mean?
His
Like
his solo debut.
this year though had a lot of albums in it that I remember people liked that I didn't check because at that time I wasn't into this year reminds me a lot of 2020. If you remember 2020, we liked a lot of those albums, but 10 years from now, will the kids be talking about Pray for Haiti, Makami? You know what I'm saying? But I
They
remember
might.
people.
I just revisited that
Yes.
like
Me and
a
you.
couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Literally a couple weeks ago. Literally.
Yes. But what
They
I'm saying
might.
is that,
They might.
but what I'm saying is that with that, who is they? That they is going to be a minute few that a
I
cult
agree.
following who check for
I
dude
agree.
like people with may have been checking for Sky Zoo and Illmind's album in 2010 or Rock Marciano's album in 2010 or one of those other Pilot Talk, which I remember people was talking about from Currency. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it definitely was a somber year because with 2011 and when we actually get to 2011 when ASAP and Kendrick and J. Cole's
like a
first
new
album,
stock, a new generation. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely
2010, Thank Me Later also came out.
yes.
Yeah.
We could have did that, but I'm like, you know what? No,
We
because
could have did. You know what? I'm about to put that in my queue, man. I'm about to. I'm a revisit it, but I remember thinking that it wasn't as good as what's the joint where he like reaching for the dollar?
Take Care.
Not Take Care. The one before Thank Me Later.
Oh, the mixtape. Oh yeah.
What's the name of that mixtape?
Mixtape is Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. No, that's just the song on the album.
That's a song on it, right? That joint.
Y'all know what that mixtape / album is from Drake.
Yeah, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Hold on, I'm about to tell you right away. So Far Gone.
Yes.
That joint wasn't So Far Gone, so I'm like, well, it's cool because I'm a Drake fan still. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was all right, but eh, eh, eh.
I think it was a decent album. It actually has some
It's
joints
a
on it
decent album.
to go
It's all
when you
right.
go back through it. But yeah, man. Let's get into it, man. First joint we're gonna do, man, is Distant Relatives, which is a album by Nas and Damian Marley. Album came out May 18th, 2010. Album was mostly produced by Damian Marley. Um,
Junior Gong.
yeah. So singles on it, As We Enter, Strong Will Continue, and My Generation. So as I went back through this album, I'm gonna be full disclosure. I don't think I've ever listened to this album all the way through. I
Mm.
remember though people really being up on this album when it came out and like, man, you know what I'm saying? This is a great combination. And then listening to it, I think it was cool. I think it was definitely a good mesh of hip hop and that reggae, more new age reggae sound that you would get from
Mhm.
like a Damian Marley and whatnot. Um,
Mhm.
but overall, from the standpoint of the songs that were on the album, I think the strongest songs for me were I like Strong Will Continue, I like Friends, I liked
Mhm.
Nah Mean,
Mhm.
and Patience. Those
Patience
probably
is one of those. Patience is one of those.
they probably
Yes.
stick out the most, man. Is it a class? To preface again, none of these albums, I think, this is a different. Usually, we really pinpoint the real classics from the year, but because the two
Yeah.
standout classics have been reviewed so much, we kind of
Yeah.
going into some albums that people would like that maybe don't get the shine that maybe don't get that much shine. So it's a cool album. Y'all should
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, man. It's like I'm gonna say it again, man. As we were looking at those albums, for me, it's a little bit of a trash year. Like I went back and listened to and I'm gonna just say this. I went back and listened to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And even though that's not my favorite Kanye album, it's some strong songs on there. Some strong songs. And it's definitely, you know, much it sets a bar for that year that makes it hard, you know what I'm saying, to really get up there to that level. And even Teflon Don has at least one song that was from those My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy sessions. You know what I'm saying? So, Rick Ross was in a space also. But anyway, Distant Relatives, yeah, man. All the ones that you named. Um, yeah, Friends. I like Leaders. As We Enter, I do like that. Patience is definitely one of the standout songs. I like My Generation with Lil Wayne. Um, but yeah, overall, I think it is a sleeper project. I think it is a cool project. I think that the words are very important. And the idea that they are distant relatives is played out throughout the album. That thread of, connecting the two cultures of American and Jamaican culture. They even bring Africa in there a lot. Um, it's a good project. It's a thoughtful project. But yeah, Distant Relatives, Nas and Junior Gong, Damian Marley.
Word up.
Moving
All right,
on.
man. Let's go to the next one. We're gonna go Waka next.
Let's do Waka, man.
Waka. So listen, man. And here's another opportunity, right? Y'all got to understand where we're coming from. We have never had the opportunity to talk about Waka Flocka Flame on the show.
Ever.
And what a great opportunity to do it because if you think about it, 2010, this is an era of the new Atlanta artists. New Atlanta artists that are coming out. I remember the Roscoe Dashes, the Waka Flockas, the
Yeah.
Travis Porter, Travis what's that group, man? It was a group of guys.
Oh yeah.
Uh
Gym Class Heroes. Yeah.
nah,
Travis.
Travis something. The
Yeah, yeah. He was from.
them dudes. It was a group like that. They was like the Migos before the Migos almost. Travis, it
Uh.
was Travis Porter or something. Travis
Oh yeah,
something.
yeah. Travis Porter. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. No, no. Not Gym Class Hero. There is the Travis in that group, but
Yes.
Travis Porter, you are correct. Wow, that's crazy. I forgot all about them. That was a whole like swag. That's
That's what I'm
like when
saying.
swag was major.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's crazy.
Shop Boys was a little earlier than that, but you know what I'm saying? You had a new wave of Atlanta artists, you know what I'm saying, that was coming through, along with a new Atlanta producers, or just producers in general, like Lex Luger, who is featured all throughout
Oh
this
yeah,
album. And
yeah.
Lex Luger, man, was this was a so Kamal always talks about how he likes sounds, you know, he likes producers that
I
have a
was just about
sound.
to say that. Yeah.
Lex Luger was running around this time. You may know him from songs like Ham. You may know him from songs like BMF, which was on Teflon Don. Um, a lot of joints were being done by Lex Luger at that time, and his sound was so prevalent that people started making them Lex Luger type
Yeah,
heavy bass, but blaring, you know, horns and whatnot. And Lex Luger pretty much produced a good amount of Waka's album. Um,
for sure.
this is like the end of my club era, though. So I remember, for example, here we go. Album dropped October 5th, 2010. Again, mostly produced by Lex Luger, but here we go. Singles, Oh, Let's Do It, right?
Oh, let's do it.
Hard in the Paint, single. No Hands, single.
Single.
Grove Street Party,
It's a
single.
party.
That's 4 solid bangers. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And people was rocking like, man, this Flockaveli album. And at that time, I
yeah,
wasn't really. I think I was like I've always been. My palette was always, you know, as far as music, it was, you know, broad and whatnot. But I think at this era, I was a little bit more constricted.
yeah.
And while our generation had violence, it was, you
Mm,
know, the lyricism was there, and it was presented in a way as to where these guys who came on the scene like Waka, it was
yeah,
just like brash, you know, he in the
yeah.
background, pow, 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 you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Bow, bow, bow,
you know what I'm
bow,
saying?
bow, 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 bow.
It's not club music. It was like, I'm gonna beat your ass in the club music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
We
Like,
had that though, like that
yeah,
crunk. We had a crunk era, you
yeah,
know
but
what I'm
this
saying, in
was
college.
but the content on here is like it's but he's street, you know what I'm saying? As to what Lil
Mhm.
Jon, it was fun. This was more so like, now I'm pulling up with the chop on, I'm killing everybody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Right.
I like the project, man. It turned. I went to the gym this morning, and I can't front. Chest day was a good day. Chest and tricep day was a great day, man. Listening to this joint, man. It was a good listen. You know what I'm saying? And I like the maturation of Waka Flocka as he's gotten older and gotten to vegan lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. It's my what I like to see. I always say I want to see
Yeah.
every artist get to their 444 level. You know, as
Yeah.
like Jay-Z used to,
Mm.
shit is wicked on these mean streets. None of my friends speak. We are like, he went from that to making therapy, you know, talking about therapy and all that. Like I
Mm.
like to see artists, you know, elevate. And I think I just
Mm.
Waka's process and how he's come
Yeah.
from this to where he is now is just wonderful to see. And y'all should check this out, man. This is an era. This is a moment. This is a
This is an
sound.
era. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, this being his debut, this really, he had no intentions on rapping or any of that. But his mom is Deb Antney, right? I forget what they label is. Um, but she pushed him into it, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that." And I don't really have too much to say. I agree with everything that you said. I
Mhm.
would just really mirror everything that you just said. But I'm more interested in who Waka is now.
Mhm.
And I am also like, wow, he is very mature now. He is like coming to, he's a mature man now.
Yeah.
Whereas he, even in older, I remember him on 106 in Park, not really, you know, knowing what was going on, and just was like,
He
I
was a
think
wild young Atlanta dude.
yeah, he was wild. He was young, and I feel like at one point he told Free like, "Hey man, can we do this over? Can we do this?" Nah, it's live. We're live, and he didn't know what was going on as far as the industry or none of that. And he's making songs like gun sounds, bow bow all through his music. He's even on the front, and it's like blood all on him on the front of the cover. And to see him in interviews now and to hear him speak, and you know, I love to see that.
Yeah.
I love to see that. That is what interests me most about this album. That's what he came from.
Yeah.
And to know that this is an era in time, you know, and to see what he's become is more interesting to me than anything on this album. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he did have some solid singles on this joint. Oh, let's do it. Grove Street Party. Them joints is popping, man.
I remember, bro. I remember. Oh, so this is the radio era where you literally would hear a song 5 times in a day, and if it was that popping, it didn't matter. When this first hit, I was just like, "What the fuck? What?
Oh,
The beat
let's
was all
do it.
crazy, bent, bent, bent. Like what is?"
Yeah.
And it was. And then
Yeah.
the video was. It was like he was like performing in a venue that was like similar to the tunnel in New York, where it was just wild. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and that's
Yeah.
how a lot of his performances. He used to be fighting at the shows, and
Yeah.
it was just wild. But here's another important point, man. We be remiss not to talk about the fact that he was a 1017 Brick Squad artist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the influence of Gucci.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
At this time, and the artists and whatnot, and people that he was kind of bringing in the game. And I think at this time Gucci was incarcerated, so you heard the shout outs
Yeah.
from, I
Yeah.
believe, you heard the shout outs and whatnot, like, man, lock my CEO up, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, man, so yeah.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Um, Flockaveli, Waka Flocka
Flockaveli.
Flame.
Let's slow it down a bit, man. Let's slow it down a bit, man.
Hey,
To
man.
possibly, oh man, I wouldn't even say he needs an unsung, but the fact that
Mm.
this album came out in 2010 and his imprint is still like the fact that like J Electronica was like, hey, come,
Right. Right.
come
Yeah.
holler at us. You know what I'm saying?
He's got a voice. He's got some interesting writing skills.
Yes.
He is a product of R. Kelly, whether you like it or not. He's a product of R. Kelly and probably Prince.
Mm.
Um,
You roll with it.
Facts. No,
You're
facts.
very, yeah.
He has definitely man, I remember Adult Swim, right? Adult Swim. Adult Swim is a block on Cartoon Network late at night. They are famous for their black screen and white words, and their bumps before and after shows, in between commercials and all of that. And when one of his albums dropped, and it might have been this album, where they use the bumps to comment on different things in the culture that they might be into as a staff and all of that. And one of the things that they mentioned is Dream made the best Prince song since Prince has
Yeah.
dropped music, which I thought was so funny but so accurate, because he does. If you listen to the Dream, and I listen to the Dream, right? I think he's got 3 solid albums: Love, Hate, Sex versus Money, and Love King. Everything after that is like, I could, take it or leave it, but um, yeah, man, he's definitely a product of R. Kelly. You can hear it. He's definitely a product of Prince. You can hear that too. Shout out to Tricky Stewart, one of his early production co-producers. Um, he creates a sound, and he has a sound. He has a style of writing. He has a tone in his voice that other artists like. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like Jay Electronica, like Jay. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye. You know what I'm saying? He's on a lot of projects, and you may not know he's on there.
Yeah.
Um, he get a lot of respect in the game. I check for this album. I'm checking for Love King. I'm checking for Makeup Bag with T.I. I'm checking for Sex Intelligent as it rolls into the remix. You know what I'm saying? Yamaha, Abyss, um, Turned Out. I like February Love. I like Priceless. I'm a Dream fan though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His writing is comical at times, but I like what he does as far as soundscapes. A lot of his songs be like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it's just to, try. He be trying different things out, different lyrics out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like what he does.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
This is definitely the era of the, and you're right. Good point with him being influenced by, like an R. Kelly and Prince. Because at this time, this also was that wave of R&B dudes
Mm.
that this was the era of the R&B thug, like
Mm.
the transition from you know trying to sing girls out their panties to telling you what I'm gonna do. This is who I am. The bravado of a rapper in
Mm.
R&B, dudes. You know what I'm saying? This is that era. The Trey Songz had that. Chris Brown, as he came into adulthood, had that. Didn't really check for Bobby Valentino that much, but what I mean, like that
Trey
R&B rap.
songs.
Yeah, all that. So,
Yeah.
but the Dream Man has a great falsetto. He has a dope, like I really like when he does. I think his best songs, a lot of his best songs are done when he uses his falsetto. But yeah, man, to kind of what you were saying, just trying to corroborate what you were saying. Sex Intelligent, man. I liked Nikki Part 2. I like Turned
Oh
Out.
yeah.
I like February Love, man. Um, this is an era. The sound on this album is so indicative of the R&B of this era that you would hear in the club, man. That
Hmm.
it was changing, man. Like R&B was. I don't know what R&B is now. Is definitely different, but during this time, this is what R&B sound like. That what's the Trey Songz joint that he did with Drake? When I get you to the crib, upstairs to the bed, girl, you gonna think you gonna that joint.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Like this
Uh,
is in that vein. Like
right, 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 right,
you
right,
know what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right, right. I'm
You gonna
trying to
think I
think of
invented
the other lyrics. Right, right, right. I know what you're
think I
talking
invented
about, though.
sex. I think is what the
Yeah,
name of the
yeah, yeah.
song is. But
Right, right.
this
Yes,
was
yes.
this was that era of this kind of R&B, man. Like you heard these joints in the club, man, and it was a good time, man. Damn,
Yeah.
2010 is kicking it, man. I was
2010. Right.
2010. I was on my way out the club. This was the end of the clubbing days, but I remember the bag joint with
Yeah.
Ti too, man. I remember that joint, man. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
That
man.
that is the classics 2010, man. Again, if y'all, I know we didn't do my beautiful dark twisted fantasy or Teflon Don, but y'all can go check them joints on
Right.
another show.
You all may have some other albums you might consider classics, but those are definitely up there for us. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
2010.
And I did want to mention also, man. Hot take, real quick, just to end out. This may be the driest a year has ever started out. I
You
don't
talking about
remember,
art like 2023?
bruh. I
Yeah, I
don't
agree.
ever remember a year
It's
starting out,
nothing. Yeah.
and I don't want to dismiss anybody who has done something. It's just I don't care, and I don't know what's it. Nobody's really putting anything out right now.
Yeah.
The most popping things in my life right now is that Devon Lamar Trio is going to be in Evanston this month, and I'm going to go see them. Surprise Chef will be here in June at Empty Bottle, and then I'm going to see Alpha Mist. That's the highlights of my musical
Mm.
life. Outside of that, I don't know. Ain't nobody. It's
You want to
February.
see Alchemist?
Alpha Mist.
No, no, I know, I know.
Alpha
But you
Mist.
sound like you said Alchemist.
Yeah.
Alchemist.
So
But
I
nah,
don't
I
know,
feel
man.
you.
This is it's a weird time. It's like
Yeah, even by now, like I think last year the weekend dropped around January, February, like around the Super Bowl. So, you know, what do you think of Rihanna's performance, man? Did you see her performance?
I think that Rihanna's performance was very good, and I think that um I would love to see. Okay, I think her performance was good, and if you thought her performance was whack, I just don't know what people expect anymore. You should have just been enjoying yourself and listening to
Yeah.
Rihanna her hits because that's all it
Right.
was.
Right.
She has hits, and
She
it's
got
like
hits. I thought it was short,
and she
actually. I
popped.
thought it
Well,
was
yeah,
short.
Super Bowl performances are typically about 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And she
Are
popped.
are are they? I feel like Beyonce was longer.
Yeah, maybe Beyonce wasn't like
But
6
I
months
don't
pregnant.
know.
I feel like she's like 6 months pregnant right
Right.
now.
Exactly. She's pregnant also. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying? Oh.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was a good performance. I forgot that some of these songs, like when she did All of the Lights, I'm like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying? Like she got some bangers, like, and
Yeah,
she's
man.
on bangers. Um, but I thought it was a decent
It
performance,
was
man.
decent. Yeah, man.
I
My
thought
expectations
it
are
was good.
always I don't, like
Yeah,
I like her and I like her songs and she performed them and I would really love to see her and
yeah.
Beyonce do a versus.
Ooh,
I would really love it, man.
beers and bars.
Oh,
Let's
all right.
end on that.
Peace. We should take that on. Who would win, Beyonce or Rihanna in a versus?